Tom Waits' raspy, almost growl-like singing voice has become synonymous with the singer and has been variously described by critics as sounding like it was soaked in whiskey, or alternatively, that it was hit by a car. This distinctly recognizable sound, combined with Waits' vast back catalogue of hits, has seen the artist approached numerous times over the years by various advertising agencies, all of whom he rapidly rebuffed. When once asked about why he had reservations about his music being used for product promotion, Waits very matter-of-factly summed up his position as such. "Commercials are an unnatural use of my work. It's like having a cow's udder sewn to the side of my face. Painful and humiliating." Or if that was not blunt enough for you, how about this one? "I get it all the time, and they offer a whole lot of money. Unfortunately, I don't want to get on the bandwagon. You know, when a guy is singing to me about toilet paper, you may need the money, but, rob a 7-Eleven, do something with dignity, and save us all the trouble of peeing on your grave." That being said, while Waits has never given permission to have his music used in an advert, he did once lend his voice to a commercial back in 1981 for dog food.
As dog travels through the envied and often tempting world of man, there is one thing above all that tempts him most: the taste of meat.
Waits eventually came to regret the ad and once famously went on record as saying that he'd rather have a hot lead enema than sell out like that again. Now, you'd think that given his outspoken and long-standing objections to having his work used in a commercial sense, that advertisers would steer well clear of the artist and just approach someone else. But, of course, you'd be wrong. Most famously, in 1988, Waits was approached by the ad company Tracy Locke on behalf of Frito-Lay about using his hit Step Right Up for a radio jingle promoting Salsa-Rio Doritos. Waits quickly declined the request, so the company tried a different tack. They hired a Tom Waits sound-alike, someone so good Frito-Lay's own lawyers advised the company that they were opening themselves up to legal problems. However, after hearing a version of the ad with a generic blues singer and deeming it inferior to the Tom Waits sound-alike version, the executives at Frito-Lay decided to go ahead with the ad anyway. According to Waits, he had no idea that Frito-Lay had done this until he was sitting in an LA radio station chatting about his latest album, and the DJ played the commercial during the ad break. Waits later noted that the impersonation of his voice was so eerily accurate that he began to question whether or not he was actually listening to himself. It was only after making a few phone calls and confirming that the voice he heard wasn't him that Waits' mood changed from worriedly perplexed to enraged. He stated, "Part of my character and personality and image that I've cultivated is that I do not endorse products. Whoever was going to hear this and obviously identify the voice would also identify that Tom Waits, in fact, had agreed to do a commercial for Doritos. It embarrassed me. I had to call my friends that if they hear this thing, please be informed this is not me. I was on the phone for days. I also had people calling me saying, 'Gee, Tom, I heard the new Doritos ad.'" As you might imagine, Waits immediately filed suit, which brought about a rather unusual legal quandary. You see, Waits didn't own the rights to the song Step Right Up. His former label did, and as it turned out, Frito-Lay had legally obtained permission to use a version of the song in their ad. So, well, what did Waits sue them for? Well, a few months before this, singer Bette Midler had won a case against Ford for an unauthorized use of her likeness and voice. Similar to Waits' case, Ford hired a Midler impersonator and a sound-alike, Midler's longtime backup singer, Ulla Hedwig, to sing one of her songs in an ad after Midler, like Waits, had told them that she wasn't interested in doing it. The court originally ruled against Midler, but upon appeal reversed their stance, noting, "A voice is as distinctive and personal as a face. The human voice is one of the most palpable ways identity is manifested. When a distinctive voice of a professional singer is widely known and it is deliberately imitated in order to sell a product, the sellers have appropriated what is not theirs." Following Midler's lead, Waits sued on the same grounds. Curiously, Frito-Lay and the advertising agency they contracted with were both aware of the Midler case when they hired the sound-alike, but their legal team reasoned that Waits wasn't as well known as Midler and you can't legally protect a style of singing or music. So while there was a high risk they'd get sued, the ad agency's legal team felt that it was unlikely Waits would win and recommended Frito-Lay go with the Waits knockoff version of the commercial. Ultimately, when sued, this reasoning became the basis of Frito-Lay's entire defense defense, with their lawyers arguing that a singer is not widely known if he is only recognized by his own fans or fans of a particular sort of music or a small segment of the population. The judge presiding over the case disagreed though, noting that although Waits wasn't as well known as Midler, he was an internationally famous artist who'd sold millions of records and was known by many explicitly for his voice, which was officially described in the court case as like how you'd sound if you drank a quart of bourbon, smoked a pack of cigarettes, and swallowed a pack of razor blades late at night after not sleeping for 3 days. Frito-Lay's lawyers then had the audacity to argue that Waits' voice wasn't that recognizable. Even though Frito-Lay had gone to the effort of hiring a guy who sounded exactly like him for the express purpose of making it seem like Waits was singing in the ad. The ruling, it ultimately went in Waits' favor, cementing the earlier Midler ruling that celebrities and people who are well known in a relative sense own the rights to all aspects of their appearance and persona, including their voice, provided it's distinct enough. Frito-Lay were then forced to pay Waits damages of a whopping $2.6 million, which is a little over $4 million today. As for what he later did with the money, Waits later jokingly quipped, $2.5 million? Spent it all on candy. My mum told me I was foolish. I've always been foolish when it comes to money. Now, this case, combined with Waits' earlier comments about preferring to have hot lead piped into his rear ends than having his music used in advertisements, should have scared off ad agencies forever, but amazingly, the singer has had to sue companies like Levi's, Audi, and the car manufacturer Opel for more or less the same thing as what Frito-Lay did. For instance, in the case of Levi's, they tried to skirt around Waits' refusal to lend his music to ads by licensing a cover of one of his songs that had previously been licensed to the artist in question by Waits. Waits, he wasn't amused, and ultimately the company were forced to issue a full-page apology in an issue of Billboard magazine. In the case of Opel, they used a Waits sound-alike after failing to get Waits to agree to a deal, and unsurprisingly, they lost the case, this time with Waits donating the money he won from the lawsuit to charity. Somewhat more recently, Waits has become embroiled in a legal battle with an award-winning French circus show directed by Bartabas the Furious, which uses 16 of Waits' songs for their performances. Representatives of the show claim that they paid the necessary €400,000 royalties to Waits' agent for use of the songs. Waits denies that he or his agent ever cleared the songs for use in the show, and once again articulates objections to such a thing as such. These songs were not found like driftwood on the beach. They came from good families. I turn down all commercial product endorsement offers and rarely collaborate or lend my name or work to other endeavors. That value has been taken and exploited for the profit and promotion of Bartabas's career and for his religious and political ideology, which neither the songs nor I choose to express. And now for a bonus fact. Ironically, Tom Waits is often mistaken for the actor Ron Perlman, who shares a similar, distinctive, growly voice and haggard look to him. Indeed, this happens to such an extent that Waits' own fan club redirects Perlman fans to his IMDb page. So I really hope you found that video interesting. If you did, please do hit that thumbs up button below, and don't forget to subscribe. Brand new videos just like this every day of the week. And as always, thank you for watching.